Welcome to Flower of Life podcast. This is Carmen Fernandez. Today I'm with Ezra Nahumury. Ezra is half Indonesian and half Dutch. His life is very interesting. He played soccer professionally in his youth, and during his early 20s, he encountered a number of challenges in his life that brought him to a deep depression when he was 32. His depression was also his greatest gift because it brought him on the path of consciousness, holistic health, and became the strongest version of himself. Now, Ezra is an entrepreneur, helping people to achieve optimal health with superfoods and coaching. Welcome, Ezra.
Thank you, Carmen. Nice introduction.
How are you today?
To be here.
I'm very happy that you're here today because we had a few conversations before. I think you're a very interesting person and you have loads to share with people.
Thank you.
And I would like you to start with talking about your depression, how you got out of depression.
Yeah, when I got the depression, I first went to the regular healthcare. So I just went to my doctor, and then he sent me through to the psychologist. So then I had to take anti-depression medicines, but that didn't help me. And then I went to a commercial life coach, and I went to them. I had to pay a lot of money, 3,000 guildens it was in that time, but for 4 sessions. But after the first session, it didn't feel good for me. But because I never finished something in the past, I thought, oh, it has to do with me. So I thought, okay, then I go for the second time. But then I said, no, this is nothing for me. So I said, okay, I want to pay the first 2 parts. Can I get the other 2 parts back then? Because it's a lot of money. And then he said, no, that's a contract. We don't do that. And then I thought by myself, okay, from now on, I'm never going to somebody who's only doing it for the money. And for me later on, that gave me the insight that I not want to work like that if somebody really doesn't want anymore. And in that period, I had an old friend of mine, Michael Lapotte, and he was a former sports sergeant for the Red Berets. That's an elite unit of the military. And I knew that he was out of the military and he was coaching kids off the street to bring them back in society and give them self-confidence again. So I saw that on Facebook. He was also already promoting, and I thought, I have to be with Michael. I have to contact him. So I immediately called him, and he said, okay, come over the next day. So I went to him, and that moment I was there for 1.5 years. He is together with my other colleague, Daniela, female, and they first embraced me and they listened to me. And I was always training hard from my soccer time and my army time, but he learned me to slow jog and take a step back and not training hard. So that was already different. So what happened in the body is that he wanted, I wasn't conscious of that, but he wanted to lower my cortisol levels, of course, and more activating my parasympathetic levels. And they asked me the question, think about who you are. So ask yourself the question, who am I? And I never heard about that. And they talked about spiritual knowledge and everything, that everything is consciousness, but everything in my body was resistance. And no, that cannot be true. I don't want to be like you. But eventually those things, together with on my path also came the book of Paul Chek, a holistic health practitioner from San Diego for already 35 years. He has got the Chek Institute, and the book How to Eat, Move, Be Healthy. I read it, but I also saw a presentation of him, and it was just natural law. And yeah, it was really emotional for me, because when I heard, just for me, common sense, how the body and the mind works, I began to cry. And that was the beginning that I knew, okay, I want this, I need to get over it. So yeah, thinking about who I am, what are your thoughts, what are your emotions, what is human behavior, but also how to eat well, sleep well, what stress management, all those things together in a relatively short time of, I think, 3-4 months. I already began to heal, but it was mainly in the mind. So yeah, that was really motivating. And yeah, in comparison to the 15 years before that I couldn't get out of the depression, it was, yeah, those were the things that I guess were the start of everything, of my healing, my transformation.
Oh, that's so beautiful. So you were for 15 years, you were feeling very depressed, and then the traditional methods didn't work for you, and you tried some different methods like coaching and started to see things from different perspective and focus more on yourself, about who you are and how you can improve yourself, your health with your own healing powers, like with
Yeah.
food and
So
exercise and
yeah, so yeah, in the past, of course, everybody knows, you have to. They say you have to eat healthy, you have to exercise and whatever, but the content or the sources, it's a whole other content than the regular healthcare and food industry and everything. So that was totally new for me. For the first time, I began to read what's on the packages and or what's biodynamic, what's an underground vegetable, because I also had to eat anti fungal, so an anti candida, and then yeah, I never knew where, for example, where vegetables came from. So it was a whole journey in learning, because yeah, now still nowadays, kids and people think that vegetables and meat come out of packages, right? So they do not know better. It was the same with me. So it really opened my mind, and but I was determined. I think I was determined that I was done with feeling that way,
mm-hmm.
because uh, in every relationship, I was doubting the other, but afterwards it was all self-doubt and not loving myself. When I was applying for jobs, I only saw this is not good, that is not good, or that is, I can't do that. So it was really destructive for me. But yeah, in some kind of way, I had never learned how to take the lead of your own. So yeah, that was what Michael learned, teach me, and Paul Check. That was the essence in it. So yeah, and I also liked not the sugar coating, but yeah, the really direct and confronting, but from out of love coaching. So I really like that.
Mm-hmm. So it was very important for you, a point where you made the decision that it was enough, and you wanted to do something about it. And then that's when you started to meet these people who help you to see things from different perspective, and started to take responsibility for your own health and for your own mindset, and that's
Yeah.
what led you to make the changes in your life.
Yeah. If I look off afterwards, yeah, now I know, the terms. Okay, I want to do you want to be a master, or are you a victim or a slave? So,
Mm.
but it was not on purpose, but I was really a victim. I thought that everything was because of the things outside of myself. And yeah, the journey, I'm now 10, 11 years further, so there's still some old patterns, but not as hard as then. But in a really short time, yeah, I picked myself up, and that was totally new, totally taking responsibility for all of my actions, all of my choices. And yeah, but it was hard. It's a hard journey. It's
Mhm.
great work. you have to work hard, right?
Yes, you have to heal the wounds and then become the powerful person that you really are, and
Yeah,
get empowered. And
yeah, and everybody got it in his and herself. But yeah, if we not taught that it's in us, then yeah, it's really difficult to overcome it. But I hope to be an inspiration and to inspire people to yeah take their life in their own hands.
yeah, you're definitely an inspiration, because you were depressed for a long time in your life, even though you were very young, and then you you got over it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you
What
can
I
inspire with other people, like, who feeling, especially now, with all these situation, there are people who are feeling in fear, people who are feeling isolated, and lots of people now feeling depressed. I don't know in other countries, but here in Ireland there are more people who are feeling depressed and low, after this pandemic and quarantine. And
yeah,
I
but
think more people need to feel inspired by people who got, like you
yeah.
overcome.
I really know what living in fear is, and in false fear, I call it, and yeah, and be a prisoner of my own thoughts and my mind, and always the thinking and the negative self-sabotaging, self-limiting beliefs. But it was really, yeah, it was logical that it happened because, yeah, I was raised. Yeah, my parents, of course, are also raised in a culture where, yeah, it's you don't be vulnerable. You don't have to be weak. You aren't allowed to be weak. Yeah, I played soccer in my youth, and although I was very talented from a young age, always uh, being confronted with competition, and the levels always had to be high. And also, yeah, my father, after years, of course, in the last years, I understood him, but in that period, that my grades were never good enough because he wanted me to succeed. So I got that, but in that period, yeah, there was a lot of pressure. Yeah, I also became at 20 unexpectedly father, and that really changed my life. My football career, because of that, went down the drain because I didn't had the opportunity to see my son. So
Mhm.
yeah, and yeah, at a very young age with a lot of stress. Yeah, it was really hard, and I was a very good learner, but my father said, yeah, now you are a father, you have to work. But
Mhm.
I was 20 and I was thinking, okay, but I don't even know what I wanted to study again, what I wanted to do in my life. And now I worked in factories and warehouses while I was very smart. So, but I didn't dare to stand up against my father because of the culture. In the Malaccan Indonesian culture, you do what the elderly said
Mhm.
and say. And yeah, so I didn't have the power to say to my dad, from, no, I want to study. So I came in fabrics warehouses, and I was really, really unhappy. And every time I failed would continue a job, I felt myself a loser. How can I do that? I have a son, I have to work, I have to bring money and food on the table. And but I totally not knowing who I was, and the responsibility. Although I wanted this responsibility, but there was a lot of difficulties in seeing my son, thinking about what do people think of me. And yeah, it was a lot of stress. So yeah, eventually I developed very low perfectionism, very low self-esteem, not standing up for myself, not knowing who I was, what I wanted to do in my life. And yeah, that eventually led to the depression. But like you said,
Mhm.
it was the greatest gift after all, because it woke me up. So I'm really grateful for that.
Yes, that's a. And when you found yourself, so now you found yourself. Who are you now that you found yourself?
I'm still not totally there, but in concept. And once in a while, I really feel that I'm one with everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that it's conscious. But there are a lot of times where the stress kicks in and the daily things, and then you identify yourself with your body again. But yeah, I'm not my body, and my
Yeah.
name, the name of this body, this vehicle is Ezra. But yeah, I think in this form, yeah, I'm a really passionate man. I think humble, and yeah, I really want to share my life experiences and my knowledge about holistic health, um, so that I can inspire other people. Yeah, to see how much human potential we have in us. But like I said, I'm also still in the process myself. So I'm working hard, but I think my quote, I said, my dream is to raise human consciousness and share my love with everyone.
Well, I think everyone, we are all in progress, you know, like when we I believe that when we finish learning, it was the day when we'll transform into another form, right?
Yeah,
While
yeah,
we're
yeah.
here, we're learning, and there is a continuous improvement. Life is a
Yeah,
continuous
I think
improvement
it's
process.
a continuous cycle, and I don't know. Eventually, when the body dies, yeah, it will be eaten from the microorganisms in the ground, and then the plants grow, and
Yes.
I don't know whatever. So yeah, all is life, I think, and yeah, the concept is still a little bit not clear, but yeah, is there death? Yeah, I think the body is going to die, but eventually the soul and everything, and yeah, that will maintain. But I don't know for sure.
It's difficult to know for sure these things.
Yeah, for sure. That's really funny because it's really funny because I don't know if you get the same experience, but if you, for the first time, you hear all this knowledge, now my reaction to Michael and Danielle was, I don't want to be like you. You don't have emotions. You're not human. And
Yeah.
it was a lot of pain and hard work also. This, although it helped me a lot
Mhm.
about thinking about it, wow, the first years were really, really hard. And yeah, that perception to open you up for that perception, because yeah, we are educated and programmed in another way, of course. So that was
Yes.
in the way. Yeah.
Yes. And what inspired you to create your own company, your business?
Can you repeat that again?
What inspired you to create your own business?
Yeah. So in a really short time, like I told, 10 years ago, I also did some strength training, and Michael and Daniela coached me. In 4 or 5 months' time, I really began to notice that I was trying to break through my self-limiting beliefs with speaking out other words, the way they coached me in exercise while I was used to hard training. I'm very strong in my basics and everything, but learning to train softer and smarter and not always hard, and learning about food and what is consciousness, who am I, what are your thoughts. In 5 months, I maybe it was 2% change already, but those 2% were completely life changing. And then I guess, okay, but I see everything around me, everything I had done. Okay, I wanted to share this with the world. But then the other doubts came in because I didn't have the certificates and the education of becoming a personal trainer, and I didn't have physiology, anatomy. So all of the self-doubt kicked in again. And then Michael told me, he looked me in the eye and he said, okay, you don't need all those certificates and everything, that education. is that something you really want? Is it that you really want? I said, yeah, okay, then let's do it. So he gave me the advice. Okay, I said, okay, and now? He said, okay, organize events or something on Facebook. I have a lot of a big network from my soccer time. I also gave a lot of illegal electronic dance parties from the music scene and everything. So I got a lot of people in my network. So I began to tell the people, yeah, today I'm going to train in that park outside. Do you want to train, get physically, mentally fit, training in a group? So that's how I started. And the difference with that approach of Michael, and that's the approach we also doing always now, is just do it. Just start and then
Yeah.
learn on the fly, learn, adapt, and change it. So in a relatively short time, yeah, I began to teach, but also forgot to mention, I also already in my before I got the depression when I was 28, I was also a sergeant in the army. So I already had a little bit of experience with standing before a group and teach. But in that period, I was still in a low self-esteem. But all of that experience later, when I started my business, it seems that it wasn't for nothing. And yeah, that's so the dream was just to share my experience, and it started just with giving people training, physical training. But in those trainings afterwards, of during the coaching, I was not always coaching on the physical aspects of technique, of the squat, of the push or whatever. But when I saw that somebody non-verbally was disappointed, and I saw that, then I knew it's not the technique of the squat. I have to ask, okay, what's wrong? And then I tried to find out, and maybe it was also insecurity. And then I coached the people on that level, and the squat became better. So I was already coaching more holistically, and yeah, I got a lot of because of that. My self confidence grew, and it was really an accelerator because it all happened within a year. And yeah, and then I knew, yeah, teaching is one of my biggest passion. I want to share knowledge and see that people, and also want to learn people how to implement it. And the implementation, the doing, the action, yeah, that is really what I learned of Michael and Daniele. Because knowledge, Paul Chek also says it, knowledge is not power, applied knowledge is power. So yeah, that's my passion. And yeah.
So what advice would you give to someone who wants to start their own business? They really want to do it, but they have this fear of, oh, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I need more certificates.
Yeah, from my experience, now I can say, and that's also what I'm doing with young guys. Yeah, just do it. But I know, yeah, I can say, yeah, just do it. But I know there's a lot of things mentally in your way. But what's really helpful is that if you got somebody who you really trust, who can coach you and stimulate you, and I think that's what helped me. So I try to be that for some other person. So I know that, yeah, say by just saying just do it, yeah, it's not always going to happen. But sometimes you have to give somebody a loving kick in the butt and confronting him to. But eventually you make the choice yourself. But yeah, you have to just do it. But in the business accelerator, where you also were, yeah, I was already educated in this way 10 years. But also in the business accelerator, I got my freeze moments. I didn't. Yeah, so it's yeah, yeah. Nowadays, still with the business accelerator, to be honest, the last month I was also in the freeze. But yeah, then but I know how to pick myself up because of that old condition. I have to do it. Come, just do it. It's just your
Yes.
mind. But yeah, still there are some situations that my old patterns are coming back, but I think that's normal.
But now you know how to. Now you are aware of those, and then when you're aware, it's like, you know, I'm playing this pattern, this old pattern, and you know how to change that. That's the power. You know,
Yeah,
of course, you know, we're going to sometimes we're going to go back to some of old patterns because they're very, you know, installed, or maybe I don't know, for different reasons. But then once you become aware of those, once you know, you become aware, and then you have the power to change them, and then you very quickly change your
yeah. So
mindset.
yeah, so for me also learning in the last 10 years, and the business accelerator is also really great because
Mm.
with the Jocko that you're responsible for. What was the quote again? I don't know.
Which
With
code?
from Jocko
Uh,
in the
Good.
business.
He said good. Everything,
Good,
whenever
good, good.
something happens, you always say good, because you
Yeah,
always can find something good in everything.
yeah. So and there's nobody else besides you who can
Mm.
make the choice. So if you don't make the choice, it's still your choice. So you're responsible for your own success and for your own growth. But like I said, to be honest, the last month on that part of the business, I really had a lot of hard, old, conditioned perfectionism, procrastination, and everything. But it's real funny because this week
Mm-hmm.
I went to the gym again, and the gym for me, strength training, is not only about making myself physically fit, but to for me it's mostly to train my mind and to be master of my mind and emotions, because in essence I'm really powerful, but that makes me intelligent in sports, and that makes me lazy. And I think that's my soccer my soccer background, because soccer players want to kick the ball, but most of them don't want to do the extra running or the extra strength training. So for me, always, although I know strength training is good for my health, in the past I was making excuses and not doing it. So for me it's a mental game. So this week, as a metaphor, I went to the gym again. I trained more and harder again, but to activate also on the other levels, so that now again, the business accelerator, I'm going to do that. And I said, up.
So when you exercise, you not only exercise your body, you also exercise your mind, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And what type of exercises do you do?
Yeah, I do. Because I didn't play soccer for 8 years already,
Mm-hmm.
because there's too much of a bad, um, how do you say? I don't know the English word, but my memory about football and soccer, everything around it, wasn't positive anymore. So I I throw it away. And because a healthy body needs strength, mobilization, flexibility. So now I'm focusing more on strength training, yoga, but also I really like Tai Chi.
Mm-hmm.
I like Tai Chi more than yoga for me. Um, yeah, it's yeah, I like it more. But I know the advantages of yoga physically, mentally, emotionally too. So I do those things because I see my body now as my vehicle for consciousness, and that's the way I can optimize the vehicle, and that's why I do strength training, yeah, and all those other things, breath work, and
You combine strength training with yoga and Tai Chi, and that's how you.
yeah, that's possible. Paul Chek, he's one of my greatest inspirers. He makes the distinction between working out, so working out is spending energy out, and working in, so accumulating energy, so gather energy, and that's slow walking or just a walk or a slow jog or doing Tai Chi and everything. I forgot the question.
Yeah, so when you're working out, like when you're doing a strength work, it's like you're giving energy out. Your energy is going out. And when you're practicing yoga, Tai Chi, or other type of
Yeah, so if
exercise, you're taking energy in. So that's how you keep your balance. Is right?
Yeah. And for me, because I was always used to work out in the military and in my pro soccer career, it was always hard competition. So in the last 10 years, I mainly focused on the work in mindset and work in exercises. I did a lot of stretching. I was really tight in all my body, and not only because of my soccer body, but because all the deeper emotions. Uh, how do you say it? The emotions who had to be worked on still. So there was a lot of tension in my body. So for me, when I joined the Czech Academy, Czech Institute of Paul Czech, in getting that knowledge, I knew, okay, mostly of my time I have to invest now in breath work, meditation, yoga, stretching, mobilization, because my body needs that to become in balance. And nowadays, I'm more and more in balance. And now, yeah, like my week, for example, maybe I do 3 or 4 strength trainings in the week, but every day I try to wake up early, and then I do my breath work. I take my cold shower, I hydrate myself, and I have a pull-up bar here, so I'm going to hang out, so my vertebrae decompress, so my spine gets more in a healthy position. I do my stretches. I do some Tai Chi exercises, and then I start the day. And then that is always the morning ritual. So the morning ritual is self-time and work in focus. But 4 times in the week on that same daily morning ritual, I have also my workouts. But if I'm in the gym and I didn't sleep good, or I didn't eat good, or I'm not emotionally stable, and I feel that, and although on the program there is a workout program, now I learned to put that aside, and then I would do something like stretches and mobilization or something. So that's I becoming more and more intuitive and more feeling what the body needs. So that, yeah, I think that is real power, because most of the people I see, because I give a lot of training in gyms, and that's also their conditioning, so they don't know better. They think if you have to exercise, you always have to exercise at a high intensity and with a lot of loads. But I see a lot of people who, yeah, are not physically fit. They look tired, tight bodies, and then they go to train very hard. But eventually, that can cause for overtraining, and yeah, maybe eventually also a burnout. So sometimes it's difficult for me to see, but for myself, I now know, yeah, it gives me the power to choose and make conscious decisions.
Mm-hmm. Because also you can stress your body by exercising too much, and that's not healthy.
No, that's not healthy. So
sometimes you think exercise is healthy, but too much exercise is you're stressing your body, and then lots of people get sick because of that, because they stress too much. But they have to balance a little bit, like if you feel that your body needs to some care, you give it to instead of exercising, you do more exercises that are like that you say energy, you take energy in.
Yeah, I think with this experience and knowledge I have now, if you look, yeah, worldwide, I guess, then most of the people aren't capable of workout. So they first have to brought back to balance with exercising softly, more work-ins, more breath work, more meditation, more Tai Chi kind of exercises, because those will give you energy. And the beautiful part of Tai Chi exercises, they call it maintaining the health of three pump mechanisms in the body. So with training at a very low intensity, so the movements are in synchronicity with your breathing in and breathing out. So if you breathe in deeply, the movement is really going slowly, and that will activate the parasympathetic nervous system, growth and repair. And then the three pump mechanisms of the body are their health maintains is optimal health. So your brain function, your heart and lungs, and your digestive system. And yeah, with overtraining and training too hard, that gives a lot of stress, and that has got a negative for most of the people. If you're not capable of working out, then that will lead to overstressing those systems. But most of the people don't know that. If I tell my clients and I tell people to take off some weights and maybe rest a little bit more in between, they've never heard of it. So years ago in my gym where I'm here, I was a little bit of a strange guy for most of the people. So, but nowadays, yeah, they experience they experience it. So now they are able to choose when they come to my training, and they are not capable of doing a workout. Then you see people in my class also doing Tai Chi, and that's real funny to see.
Mm-hmm. And what kind of breath work do you do?
Yeah, I just started when I think 8 years ago. I didn't heard about Wim Hof. I didn't heard about yoga breathing and whatever. But my mind told me something like, okay, I have to go swimming, because every time I saw on television the competitive swimmers, they go underwater, and when they come up, they breathe in. So I thought, okay, if I learn how to swim in that way, then I also learning my breathing. So I started with that, and I started with 1 hour, 2 hours a week, and it really improved my breathing and my awareness about breathing. And then Wim Hof came on my path with cold showers, and yeah, the Wim Hof breathing. But also, so yeah, I don't know, diaphragm. How do they call it? The belly breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, just 2/3, really simple. 2/3 belly, one third chest. So those things.
Yeah, like deep
Yeah.
breathing. Like I know lots of breathing exercises from yoga.
Yeah.
I practice breath work myself, and I do the cold showers as well sometimes. It feels great in the mornings when you have a cold shower. You feel like you feel alive.
Yeah, you feel that. Yeah, for me, there was somebody who was a client with me, and he got a disease. It's called, I don't know in English, but it's called Bacteref. It's a rheumatic disease of the thoracic. And he told me about going to a lake and in the winter and go to the lake and take a dip. And that was 6 years or something ago. And for me, in the last 10 years, I don't have to find something nice to eat, or I don't have to think, oh, strength training is fun, because it's not fun for me, but I know it's important for me. So when he told me that, and he told me everything about the science behind it, I knew, okay, I go with you. So we went. Only the last year I didn't do it. So for 5 years in a row, from October till February or March or something, once a week we went to the lake and took some dips in the cold water, and I do also the cold showers. But yeah, that was really challenging. Did you do something like that?
Well, I like the cold. I never got in. Well, the cold water I get into is here in Ireland. You know, in Ireland the water is not
It's
very
cold.
warm.
Oh, there's
Yes.
more. It's colder. Yeah,
And I
I have to
like
go to
cold
Ireland.
water more than the Mediterranean Sea, I think is very warm. I
Yeah.
don't like the Mediterranean Sea really. I like, for example, in Asia, that warm water it feels better.
Yeah, but for me, the cold water, when I did that, and it's also, yeah, if you go in the water, there's a stress reaction,
Mm-hmm.
but it's about being aware of the breathing.
Yes.
And when you are with your breathing, you're with yourself, and then some kind of, do you call it sincere, serene
Yeah.
feeling or something?
Yes.
Yeah, so the body is in stress,
Yes.
and while you're in the water, everything around you is cold, but
Yes.
from the inside, the organs are going to survive because they make the heat. So you're in the water, and yeah,
Yeah.
from the inside, you begin to glow. And if you can control your breathing, and then we were in the lake and with the mist and the trees, and yeah, it was really
And how
amazing.
cold is that? What's that water?
I think it's coldest time in the winter. It was something like 3 degrees or
Oh wow!
something.
I think the coldest water maybe I've been in like maybe 15 or something like that.
Yeah, but we build it up. So
Mm.
October we went in, and in October it's also a little bit colder again.
Yeah.
But then I can be in the water for 15, 20 minutes, and then
Yeah.
it's becoming November, December, and then eventually it's just a few minutes. Do your breathing, and then go out. But yeah, you feel really full,
Yeah.
alive. Yeah.
Yeah. It feels like sometimes I was swimming here in Ireland in the not many times, maybe twice at nighttime.
Yeah.
Not summer, maybe September, October. So the water was very cold, but it feels really good when you're getting into the water and then you start to feel, the sensations, and you feel your veins, your blood in your veins, like
Yeah, so you're really in the moment, right? So
yes, yes.
and if you're not in the moments, that's for example where you're not consciously breathing, then everything, the stress is kicking in.
Mhm.
But the moment you return back, you can have the discipline and the focus to return back, then you can also immediately balance again. So it's a really good exercise to stay in the moment, I guess, and to experience what it is to be
In
in
the
the moment.
yeah,
Yeah, and that's
yeah.
yeah, that's really, I guess, yeah. I was always in my head, like I said.
So you follow the Wim Hof method, like the cold showers and the breath work.
Yeah, yeah. But I also follow, like I said, Paul Chek, but also Troy Casey, also known as the Certified Health Nut.
And
And
how do you motivate yourself to do all this, like your morning routine, your exercises, your healthy eating? How do
yeah,
you motivate yourself to get all these things done every day?
because I knew if I knew the science and the background behind it, and it makes common sense for me, then I want to try it. But that is just in the last 10 years, right? When I'm on this path. So nowadays, when I started with this, and I trusted Michael, and I trusted it in some kind of way because I saw the presentation of Paul Chek, and it came in yeah, it touched me. It was a big insight, and then I knew, okay, yeah, that guy is talking sense. Then I'm going to try it, and then I just do it. Just like I said, if I know that's vegetable you have to eat because that is good, but the first time I don't like it, I don't think I don't like it. I think, okay, I'm going to do it because, yeah, it's good for my health. So I developed a do mentality to get the experience. And yeah, there were also things those people mentioned that eventually weren't for me, but I only could find it out by doing it. So yeah, when something is making sense for me, and I see a lot of, most of the time we don't have to reinvent the wheel, because there are a lot of people who are already inspiring the world and are a success in many ways, in health, in business, or whatever. yeah, then I think from, okay, that guy I trust makes sense. And that is how I start. And eventually by doing it, I also experience, okay, this is also good for me. So that is the way I'm doing it.
What tips would you give to people who want to have a like optimal health?
The first thing I have learned is to be aware of your dream or legacy or goal or whatever you want to call it, ambition.
Like
Because
having a purpose.
purpose, right?
I
So
love
if you
that.
have purpose in life, so for me, health is not the goal. My purpose is clear. I want to raise human consciousness, share my love with everyone by helping people focus on simplicity. I want to help people eat, move, be healthy and wealthy and happy. But that is my main umbrella and everything, because under it, I don't know, all the dreams and the choices I already make, coaching people and eating clean myself and whatever, that is all under that umbrella, because the umbrella gives me direction. So how can you create and manifest your dreams if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling low energy, if you are depressed, if you're living in your head, if you're complaining or whatever? Yeah, then in my opinion, then therefore you have to be optimal in health and happy, because then you can create your dreams. So health for me is not the goal, but you need it as a tool to, yeah, this vehicle, so that this vehicle can experience who I really am, experience consciousness, and bring me from here to where I want to be in my life. And um, I always ask people, I don't even care if you're overweight, you got a burnout, or you're not happy in your job. Before we go to the exercises and eating well, what is your dream? But most people don't know what their dream is. I didn't know it either before. And if people don't know their dream, then I ask them, but what is your biggest nightmare? And most of the people know what their biggest nightmare is, because that were all the things maybe I done and didn't like. So I'm not going back there anymore. So that is one piece of the head that I don't have to look to that anymore, because that I'm not good. So it makes it easier to find out what other things are. So where are you passionate about? So what gives you energy? If you wake up every morning, how would your life look like? With what kind of people do you surround yourself? How does your your living environment, your work environment, how does that look? Yeah, that are all things I think that will give you direction. And if you got direction, there's no time to spend time. So I don't mean it judging something for bullshitting yourself.
And what advice would you give to someone who want to eat healthy but they don't know what to eat, or they're confused with so many information out there? What is your advice on healthy eating?
Yeah, eating is a topic that's really sensitive, right? For that's really a hard topic. But lately I try to give people the metaphor when I'm talking to people. Um, I'm asking, okay, everything you eat and done before, but how do you feel yourself now? If you are you free of complaints, or okay, then cause and effect, then that has to be an effect. And for example, most people buy the most beautiful cars. They clean their cars by the outside. They go to, how do you call it, so the washing street, and they make it totally clean from the inside. They give it the most expensive oils, and in a diesel car, they know you don't throw in gasoline or benzene or something. Okay, and your human body then, that is also uh, living on some principles. And then most of the time, people get it. And there's a lot of nutrition advice: vegan, vegetarian, keto, or carnivore, or mix, or whatever. But for me, before going to that, um, educate yourself, which is the source of your nutrition. So commercially farmed food is mostly sprayed with chemicals, with herbicides, pesticides. Yeah, it's grown on soil which is completely depleted. There are no microorganisms in it, and the 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 animals who live on that kind of soil, from that kind of plants, or they got antibiotics, or they eat corn or wheat or something. But a cow has to eat grass. But if the cow is not eating grass, it got inflammation, so you're eating the inflammation. So what I try to teach people, you have to be educated in soil. What is soil? If you know everything about the soil, and you know which is the source of your nutrition, where your nutrition comes from, that's one of the most important things. And nowadays, I don't know, in Ireland maybe you've got some wild food growing in forests, whatever, but here in the Netherlands everything is, I think, is mainly artificial. But if you find a biodynamic farm, that's for me, a biodynamic farm is the most beautiful form of farming. It's Rudolf Steiner's principle. And it's knowledge about the soil, the microorganisms in the soil, the plants, the animals on the soil. The man eat the plants and the animals. And it's also got to do with how the moon and the sun and it's really holistic. So that's but in essence, eat food, just eat real food, and not
Yes, real food, no processed foods.
No processed food. So
remove all the processed foods.
yeah.
Eat real food, organic, preferable organic.
If people do that already, now they immediately will experience improvement. So that's my perception, my vision on food. And nowadays, since 6 months, I'm working with with Troy Casey. One of my inspirers. Is really funny because I saw vlogs on YouTube 10 years ago of him. And one of the things a few years ago I wrote on my board, my school board, is that I want to meet Paul Chek. I'm going to work with Paul Chek, Troy Casey. And since 6 months, I'm working with Troy Casey, the certified health nut, really inspiring. But 2 years ago, he was also always, and nowadays he's still doing it, and I'm doing it now also in my Instagram. But we drink a shake. It's a green shake. It's called it's not the formal name of the official name, but we call it liquid sunshine because there's a lot of greens, sprouts, algae, spirulina, all the greens the body needs to nourish their cells and to detoxify the body. But what is really special about this company and the products is that it's the source. So these products, ingredients, are of biodynamic organic soils, and their farms are in I think in almost 200 to 300 kilometers in the environment. There are no other farms, whatever, in the environment, so they don't get polluted, and they're testing it, and they are really ethical. So I found this product, and this is one of my most powerful tools, because people can not have excuses anymore for, I have to eat like a cow and chew the whole day if I want to eat my greens, which is needed. So now I have a shake with all in it. People experience a lot of improvements in because we cannot make claims, so we cannot say that, but if you let your food be your medicine and let your medicine be food, if you just eat real food, the body's self-healing mechanisms will be triggered because the body is capable of healing itself. And all kind of complaints, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, yeah, the body is healing itself, and that's really powerful. And then people wake up, and then they are more open for my coaching, also to buy more solid organic biodynamic foods. But yeah, for me it's a really good tool. So also if you supplement or use superfoods, then it's still the question, which is the source of your from that ingredients. And I think I found with biodynamic farming and with these superfoods, I really found I found that, and I taking it myself daily, and yeah, I am.
Because food is not only has an impact in your body, food also has a big impact in your mind. Like when you eat sugar, processed foods, that has a lot of impact in how you think, in your thoughts process even. And your mind is more clear when you eat real food, vegetables, real nutrition.
Yeah, but
Your mind is more clear and more you're more aware, you're more open, you're more you're happier.
yeah, but it's also logical now for me, because the second brain, the digestive system, is called the second brain, and the second brain is, yeah, one of the reasons why it's called the second brain is because 70% of serotonin is produced in the gut, and we always thought that all of the serotonin is produced in the brain.
Yeah.
But if you know that the second brain is so important and gut health is really important, yeah, what can influence the gut bad is all the toxic chemical food, not food, because yeah, you get inflammation, and yeah, you get, yeah, maybe you can get leaky gut, and then yeah, and then the good harm of the good bacteria, the balance of the probiotics and everything is not in balance, so more bad bacteria than the good ones, and serotonin and the hormonal cycle is not working well, so yeah, that causes a lot of yeah, ailments. So by eating just real food, you can you
Notice
can
a difference.
that's a difference. But yeah, I don't know, you also coach people with food, so you know how difficult food is for most of the people. If you say this, yeah, it's really hard. So somebody also
I think lots of people are attached to foods. Like there's lots of attachments to foods. Like that's the most difficult part, when people want to change their diet or the kind of their eating habits. They really need to have like a strong motivation, like a strong motivation that is bigger than themselves, because just I want to eat healthier, like it's not enough. Like it's something that is really people who change their eating habits is people because they realize that there is a bigger
yeah, like we talk about. So if you know somebody's bigger dream, yeah, for me it was my life dream eventually, but that's really big. But if somebody just want to lose weight because he wants, in your 1 year he wants to run the half marathon in Dublin or something, then that could be a small dream already. And if you get that purpose, yeah, then you're done with the situation, because you have to be done with something, totally done. Okay, now it's clear. I don't want to be returned to that anymore. But yeah, if that's not the case, then it's a little bit more, yeah, then it's more difficult, I guess.
yeah. And so when you're working with some the shakes that you were talking about is a powder, right? It's kind of a powders that you mix with water.
Yeah.
And how do you, like, what is it? I think it's a 10 days and 30 days program.
Yeah. It's the same company, but the mother company is in the United States, And in Europe, they are that's 30 years ago, and in Europe they are for 20 years. And they have, in the States, they have 60 products because they are a little bit more, how do you say it? They are longer there. And over here in the UK, Europe, we have 50 products. But all of the products are lifestyle focused or related to sports or to gut health. But when we advise people to do a kickstart or something, then in the net here in Europe, we have a 10-day transformation cleanse. And the States are always bigger. So they have an ultimate for 30 days. So that's the difference. So in some kind of way, the 30 days and some products are not sold here because of the market, I guess. But there are more than only the 10-day cleanse, but also the 10-day cleanse consists, and the 30-day cleanse consists of products which you can also take apart. So in the 10-day cleanse, yeah, it's a really good one. The green shake will give you a lot of energy. It will nourish you on a cellular level and detoxifies you. The cravings for processed food and whatever lessens a lot. Then there is some apote cherry. That's a tart cherry concentrate, and tart cherry is one of the few fruits that contains melatonin of itself. So it's really good for your sleep and your repair. But there's also a lot of antioxidants which fights the free radicals in the body. There's an amino acid pattern, amino acid building blocks of proteins. This is a 100% vegan, plant-based protein. And the nice part about that one is, if you take a steak, for example, and then I would take a biodynamic steak, but then 36% of the amino acids, the nitrogen, will be absorbed by the body. So that means that the other 60% is stress and waste for the body. And this product, the vegan protein, amino acids, 99% will be absorbed by the body. So there's 1% waste. So that's really powerful stuff.
Wow.
And then there's something like ionic elements that are drops, ocean trace minerals. And how do I explain that? Your body is getting alkaline with those drops. And also magnesium will be better absorbed by the body. And that's very special. And then there are two other products in it. Black walnuts is for parasite removal from the gut. And chlorella, cracked cell chlorella. So that is for detoxifying heavy metals. So it's not just a detox. It's a real holistic anabolic. It means upbuilding detox. You can also eat with during that cleanse, but vegetables and so it's not a cleanse also to starve yourself. So it's a really powerful cleanse. People lose weight, get more energy. I had an injury in my shoulder for 3 years after Olympic weightlifting, but in some kind of way, the waste from that injury, in 3 or 4 days, it completely disappeared. I was moving my arms in the warming up, and I was thinking, that's strange. I don't feel something. So I tried to put it in every angle to feel that it hurt, but it didn't hurt. So it was really special, and I experienced inner calmness. So in most of the spiritual books, they talk about inner peace, and it was always a concept or something. But during that cleanse, and it's not hocus pocus, it's just the body's getting clear. So I really felt really calm, and my mind was still, and my emotions, I was stable. So yeah, it's really powerful. Yeah.
Very powerful, yes. I know that you had an ayahuasca experience like 6 months ago.
Yeah,
I had an ayahuasca experience as well, like 3 weeks ago. I want to hear about your ayahuasca experience.
yeah. I'm going to listen to your podcast because I'm also very interested to your experience. Yeah, the reason why I did the 10-day cleanse, and I was very skeptical in the first place about the process, because Troy said it's a fast and convenient food, and with fast and convenient, I always thought McDonald's, that cannot be good. But eventually I tried the 10-day cleanse, like I told before. It already gave me a spiritual experience and a lot of physical, emotional, mentally. Was it positive? But if you want to do the ayahuasca, you have to do something like a cleanse or a fast a few days before you do it. So that was my moment that I decided to do the cleanse. So I calculated it. So one day before the ayahuasca, my 10-day cleanse was over. And I went to the ayahuasca, and apparently, because the body was totally clear, so my intention was to, um, I didn't experience for a long time real happiness. So I left with friends and everything, but a real feeling of happiness I didn't felt for a long time, for since I think the situations that I became a father. So that was one of my intentions, to feel that again. But in the last 3 years in my healing process, also my inner demons, my dark and shadow side was very to the surface. So I felt really undervalued. I was very mad and angry, misunderstood. So I had it for 3 years already, but I know where it came from. So, but I couldn't accept or let it go or something. So that was another intention. I want to let go that side, and I wanted to experience really, not only in concept, but who am I? I am consciousness. I'm not this body. So those were my three intentions. And yeah, they say you never get, most of the people never get what they want before, yeah, because maybe you need some other lessons. But yeah, I was lying in my bed. The environment, I guess, because everybody's lying in his bed with some blanket, and everybody's in his own space and everything. And I was fully aware. My eyes were open, but I didn't have visualizations. I started
Did you have a, how many days was your
one time, only
one
one
day?
day,
Only one day?
only one day.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was an 11-hour trip for me, but I was lying, and at first, with my first shot, nothing happened, and I thought, okay. But then somebody else stood up again, asked for a second. I took the second one, and yeah, I was lying. I saw that my eyes were open. I saw everything the way I see it now. So there was no visualizations, no strange things. But then my all the tiny muscles, I felt all the tiny muscles in my face, and they pulled my mouth in a smile. So I had a really big smile, I guess. I was like a big smile. And then I felt butterflies, I felt happiness, I felt everything. And I felt that, but I began to cry because it was really emotional, because I hadn't feel real happiness since I was a kid or something. So
Wow.
I got an insight from, oh, damn, all those years from my 20 on, I had so much stress, and now I experience happiness again. But it wasn't related to a memory. It was also not related that something on that moment happened in the room, but it was happiness itself. So that is how I explain it, because it was not that I was identifying myself with Ezra, who is happy, but that was that. I went to the bathroom. I came off the bathroom. I was going to the toilet, and during my standing there in the toilet, then there was like a black curtain before my eyes, and then my happiness, and I felt, oh, really, I was scared and everything. So the guide guided me to my bed, and also I was lying there, eyes open, no visualization, no, and then I began to cry, and I think, yeah, yeah, you don't know how long it happened, but I cried, and I cried intense and really hard. But I thought before I went to the ayahuasca that my aggression and my anger would come out, but nothing of that happened. So that was also an insight. While I already for 20 years telling about it, and I thought that I talked it out of my body again and mind, still there was some piece of sadness, and I think in my body. But I cried it out, and eventually there was also a situation that if you the Exorcist, do you know the movie The Exorcist?
Yes.
When the girl is got lifted off because
Yeah.
of the bed because of the Exorcist.
Levitation.
Yeah, so I was lying. It was really strange. So my arms went off the ground, but I didn't do nothing. It was not that I still up my hand, so pick up my hand. So my arms, I felt energy, my shoulders, my neck, my head came off the ground. And during that time, in the evaluation, somebody said it, but the guy was walking with a sound ball, and later on it was the sound ball of opening your heart chakra. But in that moment, I got lifted, and my rib cage opened itself.
Yeah.
And I do breath work for a long time already. I do cold showers. I was aware of my breathing, but it opened, and I could breathe in really deep into my belly, to my pelvic floor, I guess, and everything. And that was the last part of the that I was one with my breathing. My breathing was easy and flowing. And then I also got a realization of, okay, all the stress that I put on myself on all those years. So those insights I've got, and it was really emotional. But somebody went for day 2, but I thought, no, that wasn't necessary. I've got what I needed. I've got a lot of experience in partying really hard. So I used a lot of ecstasy, all those kind of drugs. And always then you want more. And this is not a drug. This is a plant medicine. So
this is plant medicine. It's completely different.
So I didn't need something else. So it was really, really a mind-blowing experience.
Yeah, it's a mind-blowing experience, right? That was mind-blowing. I'm happy that I experienced that.
Yeah, but in short, what was your what or do I have to listen to your podcast?
You have to listen to my podcast. But it was, for me, it was 3 days. 3 days.
Wow.
Retreat. Yeah.
Wow.
And
heavy.
Yeah, and but for me it was like not only the 3 days. For me it was like still I could feel the things. It worked. It was the ayahuasca working maybe 1 week, 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
It's not like only one when you take it and then that's it. It's a process, I think.
Yeah, and beautiful things happened after that, right? So it's not that you planned.
No, but it's a transformational experience, right?
Yeah. So for me, coaching my little brother, and my brother and I never had a good relationship, and after the ayahuasca, now I'm coaching him.
Yeah.
I'm asking him a question about what is his dream. He bought biodynamic food, but he never heard about it till a few months ago. But I think he was also done with the situation, and he is how do you say it? He is grateful that I can coach him, and for our bond relationship is really good. But all those things happened after the ayahuasca, but it wasn't that I had planned it or something. So
yeah, I'm going to do that again in September.
Where?
Well, a friend is from Disney's Accelerator.
Yeah.
I met him in Disney's Accelerator. He was in my group.
What is his name?
His name is Alan. Okay. Alan, he is from Croatia, but he lives here in Ireland, and he organizes ayahuasca retreats.
Nice.
And he's very good. And really good. And the ayahuasca that he gets is really good. Ayahuasca made by shamans in Colombia.
Yeah, nice.
And there's some different types of ayahuasca. Like some of them they're made commercially, but this ayahuasca is made by a very old man who sings to the plant before cutting the plant. Like the old traditional.
Nice, nice.
And they
But
don't sell
is that
this.
also the setting? Was that all? Oh wait, I put on some lights. But was that also the setting when you did that? More in a traditional setting.
Yeah, it's kind of a traditional healing. I know the family because we organize an event with them, a music event.
Nice.
A few weeks ago. They're very nice people, and they use it for healing.
Do you know what really funny is? Because just before our conversation, one of my team members from the superfoods, he sent me the message. Yeah, I got an insight. Let's do ayahuasca this month.
Oh, really?
Right. Okay, maybe. Yeah, I'm definitely going to listen to your podcast. 3 days. That would
I
be.
was there 3 days. Yeah, it was very good. I'm happy I did 3 days. Some people did 2 days, some people did 3 days, some people did 1 day. Yeah.
Yeah, but for me,
You got everything in 1 day, so
yeah, apparently. So it was also the feeling, right? Because like I said, with drugs or something in the past, it's more, and now, yeah, it was okay. I was really also tired, so I was sitting there, and afterwards we went. We could eat, and I sat there with a few other people, but I sat there and I was silent because of it bloomed. It was so special. And yeah, it was my first time plant medicine, and yeah, I don't know. It's a miracle, right?
yeah, it is.
Yeah, really a miracle.
And what tips would you give to people who want to discover who they are?
Yeah, then all the things that happened to me is try to see the world and everything here now, to also be open for other perspectives, perceptions, because also nowadays with COVID and everything, it's only one way traffic, of course, and most of people buy it. But yeah, I hope that people open themselves up now, because it's really strange what is happening now. Because if you are open for other experiences and perception, I think that is the key, to be open. For me, a holistic view on health. So for me, all is mind. Thinking, the power of thought is number one. Breathing, hydration, nutrition, and then just eat real foods, biodynamic or wild, if can. If you take supplements of the same source, biodynamic, organic. Your sleep, go to bed early because of circadian rhythms, and exercise, but know when to work out and know when to work in. Working in is for, in general, most of the people just take walks. I bought 2 dogs because I like dogs, but I felt that I needed to go out in nature. So these 2 are a tool for me to spend time in nature. The dogs, when I see those dogs, so one of my dreams, I want a farm with a piece of land with a lot of discriminated dogs. I call them discriminated, those dogs like pit bulls and everything, and but also dogs who didn't have a good how do you say it, education of breeding, or dogs who can have a better life. That I want to give them a better life. If I look to dogs, they really, I'm in a meditative moment. I'm totally in the moment.
Mm.
So find out what gives you energy, where you passionate about. So if you find that direction in life, then everything else, all the choices will be because of you have the direction. So, and then you don't have to worry. So sometimes I make choices, I don't see them directly under my umbrella, but I know that maybe those experiences I needed to do that. So yeah, and yeah, just be open for life, enjoy it, and live life to the fullest, but also know that life is also has its dark moments,
Mhm.
but also enjoy those ones, uh, learn from it. So if you learn from that, then nothing can be wrong because you're learning. So yeah, I think that that's a shift in mindset. And yeah, if I give advice for more Western people, I guess most of the people who are easy for me to understand. In the beginning, Michael told me about Osho, but in the beginning of the years, he was too confronting for me, and it was a little bit too difficult for me. But nowadays, Osho, but what I found Eckhart Tolle with the power of now was really understandable for the Western mind, I think. Dr. Joe Dispenza is really interesting. I would say Paul Chek,
Mhm.
Troy Casey, Bruce Lipton. Uh, yeah, Brian Rose's interviews with a lot of beautiful people also transform my ideas and perceptions. So yeah, there's a lot you can do.
Mhm.
Yeah, but make
And
sure it is your own, and find out if your ideas, the things you want in life, if that is truly because you really want it, or is it your conditioning. And yeah, so do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
yeah, so the dream has to be your own. You're not living anyone
anybody
else's
else's
dreams.
dream? No,
No,
no.
no.
You have to connect with your truth, with who you really are.
Yeah, and
Yes, yes.
food and everything, all the 6 foundation principles, they are mainly to get the body clear so you
Mhm.
can do
Yeah.
that introspection. Because yeah, like you said, if the body isn't clear because you drink too much Coca-Cola, Gatorade,
Mm.
Red Bull, or whatever, and you not going to sleep, going to bed on time, yeah, then the body is really disturbed. Then you
Yeah.
cannot think clearly. So then you can
Yeah.
also cannot do introspection.
Your mind is not when your mind is busy, it's difficult to connect with yourself. Like
Yeah,
for example, for me, I find difficult to connect with myself when I'm busy, with my mind is busy. But when I'm like normally, I'm because I've been doing lots of work on myself, so now I can disconnect and I can have my
yeah,
mind empty very easily.
yeah. But you have to have courage.
Yeah.
You really have to have courage to I think to be in this process, because in most of society, or the people, the environments around us, think we are crazy or think that you're crazy. So to stick to this self-love, putting yourself in the first place so that you can be loving to really loving to others, yeah, that's really hard work. So you have the courage to be persistent, and it's not easy, but if
Yeah.
you have like-minded people in your environment, yeah, that is my goal with my physical location, to have a place where more my like-minded people are doing it, and then the process is easier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And not really caring much about what other people think.
yeah.
Because usually when you start to connect with yourself and with your passions, with your truth, it's a bit different to what is out there, the norm. And you have to be strong enough to just don't care about what other people think, or if
Yeah.
not seeking approval or
Wow.
yeah
But in
validation
the
from
yeah
outside.
yeah but in the process, still, like I said, in the last month, there were still some, how do you say, little program conditionings that I was searching for approval, but now I'm aware. So that's the difference. So the difference is that that I'm aware. So yeah, so I can make the choice. Yeah,
it's all about choice.
Everything is choice.
Even when you get up in the morning, you can choose to have a big breakfast and do nothing, or you can choose to do your own exercise or your cold shower and your rituals. Or it's all about choice. Since you get up in the morning until you go to bed at night, is all choice.
Everything
your
is choice. So also, if you think you're not choosing, you're choosing. So.
Yeah, and depending on your choice, you will live a different. You will have a different experience of your life.
Definitely, and that is my that is what we're not educated in or not told. So yeah, it took me a depression to come on this path. I'm really thankful for it, very grateful. So I love the journey, and see what life is.
See what comes. See what comes, because life is a journey. It's an adventure.
Yeah.
And we'll find different challenges, and then we overcome the challenges, and then you get stronger, and then you get ready for the next challenge, and that's what it is.
Yeah, and then it's excitement, right? Excited, right?
I think it's like, I like asking people the question, what is life for you? What is life for you? Some people think that life is a battle. Other people think they like, and it depends on what life is for you. You will have a different experience. Like, what is life for you?
Yeah, life for me is learning, growing, experiment. That's it. Learning, and every situation, everyone is. I can learn from everyone. So I'm constantly learning. I'm open, and therefore I'm growing. And that, I think, is life. And more, I feel that, because before it was just words, that life is really to celebrate. Also the hard things, but more and more, I really feel that it is that way. So yeah, that's when somebody was talking like that to me 10 years ago, my body was resistance, and what is this for kind of talk? And now I'm experiencing it myself. So life is learning, growing, always changing, and I hope to get inspired by a lot of people and share my knowledge and inspire other people to get also this insights, so we can grow. And
Nice. And how can people find you, Ezra?
I've got a website. I have to fine tune it, but I have a landing page, and that's www.in, and then
underscore. Yeah.
Not the underscore, the other one, the normal in ease.
Yeah.
So maybe I do it in the chat. So www.
You can send that to me, and then I'll put that in the description of the podcast, of the episode, if people want. Yeah. And then they can also send you. Okay, great. In ease. Okay. And you are also in social media. Are you?
Yeah, I've got my Instagram Instagram tag is just my name, Ezra Nahumury, small letters. But I also, maybe I can send it to you also. And
yes,
my superfoods web shop is platinumeurope.biz/Ezra Nahumury. But I will also send the links to you. So if people are interested, they can also DM me or email me. I will send the email if they are interested in the superfoods. If you don't need my help, just go to the quick shop in it. Use my gift card code. It's also my name, Ezra Nahumury, and people can get 50 euros discount on every product you want to try, or the 10-day cleanse or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you, Ezra. And if you want to see more episodes, you can go to listen on Spotify, iTunes, or you can go to the website floweroflifepodcast.com.
Nice.